right, today we're going to tear apart a very specific and very raw piece of online culture, the YouTube diss track. You can think of it as a modern-day duel, just, played out for an audience of millions. We're going to break down exactly how these things are built.
So, what really makes one of these things tick? What are the key ingredients, the strategies, the raw nerves they're trying to hit? To figure that out, we got to look at a perfect example of the genre.
And for our case study, we are diving deep into a track from the artist Mokowan. It is this multi-layered attack that gives us a really clear window into how these online battles are actually fought today. So let's start with the absolute basics.
So first, let's get on the same page. A diss track is, at its core, a song of disrespect. But on a platform like YouTube, it's become something more. It's not just an insult anymore. It's a public performance, it's a declaration of war, and it's a piece of viral content all rolled into one.
Okay, so who are the players in this game? Well, this particular battle is between Mokowan on one side and his main target, the country rapper Ryan Upchurch, and his crew, who Mokowan calls Cracksquad. And let me tell you, this is not a friendly rivalry. The language makes that crystal clear right from the jump. So what's actually fueling this whole thing? Well, when you start to peel back all the layers of just raw aggression, you find out the attacks aren't just random shots in the dark. They fall into some very distinct and very personal categories. And they do not pull any punches. I mean, the attacks go straight for the jugular. Like this one, aimed at one of Upchurch's associates, alleging some really serious drug abuse. This kind of thing is a hallmark of the genre. It might seem chaotic, like they're just throwing insults at a wall, but they're not. There's a clear pattern here. The attacks hit four main themes: drug use, financial collapse, betrayal, and maybe the biggest insult of all in this scene, being fake. The track also hits them where it really hurts, the wallet. It claims Upchurch has lost property, even had a vehicle repossessed. The whole goal here is just to completely dismantle that public image of success, which, for an artist, is absolutely crucial. But here's a key part of the strategy. The attack isn't just on one person. A huge part of this is to broaden the conflict, to try and isolate your main target by going after their entire circle. And believe me, that target list is long. Now, we're not talking about just one or two people here. The track explicitly calls out more than a dozen different names. And what this does is it turns a simple beef into this huge, sprawling war. It creates this us versus them mentality by painting the entire opposition as one big, unified group. And when you lay it all out like this, you can see just how wide the net is cast. Ryan Upchurch gets hit with a homophobic slur. Mid3 is accused of addiction. And others, like Captain Pfeff and Just Trey, they get their own specific, tailor-made insults. By naming all these names, the attack feels both massive and, at the same time, deeply personal. Okay, so tearing down your rivals is only half the battle, right? While all this is going on, what kind of image is Mokowan building for himself? Because let's be real, every diss track is also a promo for the person rapping it. And in his own words, it is a straight-up declaration of greatness. He's not just saying his rivals are bad, he is actively positioning himself as the dominant force, the king of the scene. It's a classic power play, a claim to the throne. So the narrative he builds is crystal clear. On one side, you've got Mokowan. He's authentic, he even brings up his time in prison, he's a dominant leader. And on the other side, his opposition, painted as inauthentic, drug-addicted, and financially dependent. It's a classic good guy versus bad guy setup. Now, the track also lobs this very specific bit of internet slang, clout chasing. And this is a really powerful insult in the online world. It basically suggests that your opponents haven't actually earned their fame, they've just sort of leached it off of other more popular people. It's a fundamental attack on their legitimacy. And just when you think the structured attack is over, the whole track just shifts gears dramatically. It closes out with this bonus freestyle section, a part that's designed to feel totally off the cuff, completely raw, and maybe even more vicious. So in a recorded track, calling something a freestyle is really a performance of being spontaneous. By labeling it a first take, the artist is sending a signal. They're telling you, what you're about to hear is my raw, unfiltered thought process. This is the real me. And the lines in this part, they get even more direct and personal. This isn't some complex metaphor. It's basically a playground insult that's been cranked up to 11 and put on a public stage, all designed to hit a nerve. See, and this right here, this just doubles down on that whole attack on authenticity. The claim is that his rivals aren't self-made at all. They're just privileged. It all ties back to that core theme of being fake, which is basically the cardinal sin in this world.
And then he just comes right out and says it, basically explaining the whole point of this section. He's telling you this is raw, this is real, and it is flawless. It's the final power move, framing his improvised insults as perfectly formed weapons.
So after breaking all this down, we're left with a pretty big question. A track like this calculated, public, multi-layered attack, it's not really just a song. It's a form of communication. And it really makes you wonder, in our super connected world, is this kind of direct public confrontation becoming the new way we have a conversation?